bringing you up to date with the latest information and opinions from that level. Trevor, you've experienced this moment.
That's the most nerve-wracking moment, actually. You get up to there and then they keep you waiting for the signal just over by the presentation area, and as you can see, the lads fidgeting, and the best sensation of the whole day is just when you walk out of that tunnel and then the whole ground erupts. And certainly with Arsenal, the younger lads, there's Martin Hayes, he doesn't look too disturbed, does he? But he's only a youngster. Paul Davis, who's been a really key player for them, and here they go, Jim.
Right, that's it as far as we're able to go in anticipation of events in the Littlewood Challenge Cup final. So for the reality, as the players come onto the field, we join Bobby Charlton again and your match commentator, Barry Davis.
Wembley this afternoon, a confusion of colour. Wherever you look, there are red and white flags. But for the first time, I believe, Arsenal have won the toss for the right to have their usual shirts. So they, this afternoon, will play in red, and their opponents will play in white. The running gag at Anfield these days is about the supporter who turned up for his Wembley tickets and said could he have his usual seat, and it's understandable. This is their 8th domestic final here in 10 years. Arsenal back in the stadium for the first time since the FA Cup final of 1980. For the occasion, an afternoon which does credit to the famous lines of Robert Browning. Pleasant sunshine adding to the colour of the very green grass and the colours brought here by the supporters. And waiting to meet the teams is Sir John Moores, and a very special occasion this must be for the chairman of the Littlewoods organisation. Sir John, who is 92 years of age and who started his pools in collaboration with two friends back in 1923, the year in which the first cup final was played in this stadium, the FA Cup final, of course. And the players, you will note, lined up one team behind the other. This is to enable the players to go towards Sir John. Alan Hansen leading his team forward, introducing the colourful figure of Bruce Grobbelaar. Barry Benison, who played here for Sunderland, was the youngest captain at Wembley then. Craig Johnston. Gary Gillespie, the only debutant at Wembley in the Liverpool side. Nigel Spackman in rush, a special word for him. Will he have a special action for us? Philip Carter, the president of the Football League, nearest the camera. Ronnie Whelan, who tends to do well here. The Big Dane, and the manager and substitute, one of the two allowed, bringing up the rear, Kenny Dalglish. An ambition achieved for the Arsenal captain, Kenny Sansom. Always wanted to captain a side at Wembley. His moment arrives today. John Lukic, Viv Anderson, David Rocastle, Stevie Williams, the one who you may have noted was standing out of line. He always likes to do things his way. He was in the tunnel. Another man mountain. A man whose head they'll certainly be looking for now, Quinn. alongside Charlie Nicholas. Perry Groves, one of the substitutes, and David O'Leary, formerly captain but now likes to be the last man. And here, the very smart, as usual, George Graham. And the officials, Lester Shapter, the referee, introducing Brian Hill, who is the reserve referee and who would come on if there was an injury for the referee. And his two linesmen, David Keane from Reading and Fred Young from York. Lester Shapter, former policeman. Certainly a very colourful Sunday afternoon out. Check on the two teams. First, a look at Arsenal, who are wearing, as I said, the red shirts. Three players who played here in Wembley finals before. David O'Leary, who played in the 3 FA Cup finals on the trot. Viv Anderson, who's played here for Nottingham Forest, indeed played against Liverpool in this competition, and Steve Williams on the losing side for Southampton against Nottingham Forest. But a young side that has served Arsenal so well this season, irrespective of what happens this afternoon. Liverpool's 19 winning medals are amassed by 6 players, with Kenny Dalglish having played in all 4 successes. Rush didn't play in the first one here, but he did play in the replay. But they've lost 3 of their back 4 compared with last May in the FA Cup final. Jim Beglin, Mark Lawrenson and Steve Nicol are all injured, as is Kevin McDonald. So if you add to that the fact that Kenny Dalglish is on the substitutes bench, there are 5 changes between last May and this April. Here's the man who so many people feel will make the headlines, making perhaps his last appearance here at Wembley, and that fantastic record, which includes 3 goals this season in the Littlewoods competition. Charlie Nicholas, who I think it's fair to say gets rather more publicity than his actual achievements may deserve, but this is surely a setting for him. Gary Gillespie, who was expecting to play in the FA Cup final but was taken ill the night before, now gets his chance. And number 7 there, David Rocastle, the man whose goal in the dying seconds of the 3rd match in the semi-final contest against Tottenham brought Arsenal to Wembley. The photographers awaiting the arrival of the 2 skippers. Already on the benches, the managers and their assistants and the physiotherapists. Ronnie Moran at the far end, Gary Lewin, the physiotherapist of Arsenal, nearest to camera. George Graham taking a central position on the ground, where I am still convinced he scored for Arsenal in 1971. Although the record books give it to Eddie Kelly. Alan Hansen, who in his first season as captain led Liverpool to the FA Cup and the Football League double. now leading his side in the first Littlewoods Cup final, the 27th League Cup final in all. And his opposite number, Kenny Sanson. And they pose with what the refereeing fraternity like to have referred to as the third team on the park for the official throwing of the coin. And Sir John Moores passing the Liverpool chairman, John Smith, to take his seat in the royal box. Former chairman of Everton, and over the years with a number of shares in Liverpool as well. Leicester Shapter comes from Torquay in Devon, has one more season after this on the list. Arsenal with their supporters behind them in every sense. The standing number mass behind the right-hand goal. And an early touch for the Liverpool goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar. And the banks of Anfield are behind him. First challenge between Sanson and Craig Johnston. Hayes. And the first offside decision. And let us hope there won't be too many of those. Both teams coming into the final with problems with their form. Arsenal can't score goals, only managed one in 9 games. Liverpool beaten in their last 2 league games, and that hasn't happened since autumn '84. There's a spare boot on the pitch, you may have noticed, and it's never happened under the reign of Kenny Dalglish at defeat in 2 consecutive games. The boot belongs to Craig Johnston and is reclaimed. That's a great little turn, but he showed a bit too much. Gillespie wearing number 2, playing in the centre of the defence as expected. Barry Benison wearing number 3, playing at right back. Rush. Johnston with 2 feet, used the right one that wasn't actually done up. First challenge by Steve Williams. Paul Davis under pressure from Venison. Paul Walsh played here in the Charity Shield in '84. That's a poor ball. Grobbelaar has come to meet it. Molby, the man who turned the FA Cup final against Everton. That's a useful ball by McMahon to Rush. Well, the pass was a great deal better than the finish, it should be said. And I hesitate to say it about such a quality striker, but he was in a little bit of a rush then, but not in the sense that we usually see. Hayes. Arsenal yet to build on the right, and it'll be interesting to see how well they do there. David O'Leary. Free kick. Good decision. Stevie Williams turning his back and then turning away in similar fashion from the referee. But little doubt, I would think, about the verdict. Ball forward for Liverpool, Spackman on the left side. John Lukic hasn't missed a game all season. Win. Davis. Adams to Hayes. Robillard available with the big right hand out. Calling for the ball. Barry Venison was only 20 years and 7 months when he captained Sunderland here a couple of years ago. They were beaten by Norwich City. Sometimes the long clearances of John Lukic can be quite a telling weapon for Arsenal. Hardly a breath of wind. It's not one of his better ones, really. Met by Ronnie Whelan. Johnson was pushed forward. So is Walsh. The physical presence of David O'Leary sufficient for the task. And the first 5 minutes have elapsed. No score. And here is the first free kick that could pose any danger. Walsh taking a central position, Rush just behind him, and I think we're going to have a change of ball. Two referees confer, and a couple of questions might be asked as to why that one lasted barely 6 minutes of the match. Came off Davis's hands, but quite inadvertently. Mulvey trying to spread it out. Spackman. That's nicely done. Gillespie out by Kenny Sansom. Good tiding up by Mulvey. The intention was right from Venison. He was trying to get Walsh through. Useful from Rocastle. On to Hayes. And the first corner of the 27th League Cup final, the first for the Littlewoods Cup, goes to the London team. Craig Johnson covering the near post. Goal kick.
Very interesting there that Niall Quinn was unopposed from a corner kick. Alan Hansen did lose him, and the absence of Mark Lawrenson obviously going to be very important when it comes to cross balls like that.
Tremendous length of clearance, and Rush has got away from O'Leary. Here's Craig Johnston! Brilliant stop! Craig Johnson turns in disbelief. Really was a very good stop by John Lukic. An excellent ball. O'Leary seemed to have it slip slightly, but it was very well claimed, in fact, by Rush. And here comes Craig Johnson. What a good save. Couldn't have been closer. Solidly out by Adams. Mulvey. Whelan. Plenty of space for Craig Johnston. Walsh in the middle, so is Rush. Gillespie. And the flag up for offside. But I'm sure John Lukic will be feeling in fine fettle now. To make a save like that so early in the match is such a boost for a goalkeeper's morale, particularly one who last week made a mistake against Everton that cost Arsenal the match. The linesman agrees, but not until the ball went out of play, reasonably enough. David Keane on this side. Hasn't had too far to come, just down the M4 from Reading. Anderson. Little push by Hansen. Well, a nice little flick on too by Niall Quinn. Free kick, almost dead centre. And around 25 yards. Charlie Nicholas might be prepared to try for the curler. Arsenal got 3 behind the wall. Nicholas, bit of a daisy cutter, well played by Williams, took rush out of it. Rocastle, 5 Arsenal players waiting, not a good cross. Williams, hanging a bit. Quinn appealed to the referee, but I don't think really there was any infringement upon Martin Hayes. 10 minutes gone and the last 5 seem to go quicker than the first 5. But still no score. Final, but in a curious way the pressures might be taken off the level of expectancy. It's quite a promising start, I think. The hesitation on the ball by 2 players then.
Yeah, we've got a cracking match on our hands here. The young Arsenal players in midfield, Davis, Rocastle, Williams, all closing the men down and not giving Liverpool the time and the space that they want. Added to that, the pace that Russia's given them up front is a tremendous thing for Liverpool and something that Arsenal really have to worry about. Anything sent from the back is going to be a big problem. He's so fast.
Now, this is the side I always like to see when Alan Hansen comes forward. He's one of the best carriers of the ball in the game. Jan Mulby. The flag stayed down, and rightly. And Steve McMahon gets the flag now for an offside against Arsenal. McMahon, incidentally, the only Merseysider in the Liverpool team. And he started his career across Stanley Park at Everton. Kenny Sansom got himself caught a bit too far forward. Recovered quickly. Davis. Oh! Just enough to put a bit of concern at the Arsenal end, I would have thought. Whelan came to meet it rather untidily. Free kick given against him. Forced into this left-back position. It was said for many years that Liverpool were vulnerable at full-back. Not too many people were capable of proving the point. Quinn and Gillespie. And Quinn is causing a few problems, and Gillespie, I think, is still fitting the knot that he got pretty early on. Great Johnston. But where's he going? Well, he gets a free kick off Williams, which the referee will have taken in his time. Stevie Williams, a couple of infringements by him. And it's interesting that Alan Hansen said this week that if Williams plays well, then the game could go Arsenal's way. Hansen was up. Whelan couldn't take it with him. Williams. Nicholas. Rush. Another good long ball from the back. And Liverpool using the long ball with intelligence, and the suspicions are that Anderson wasn't too happy about the cover there, and he'd be right, wouldn't he? Lesby very keen to get to the ball before Quinn. Johnston. O'Leary. Very lucky that it fell to Viv Anderson. Rocastle. 2 up against 2. Venison now puts the odds in favour of the defenders. Free kick against Ronnie Whelan. Referee wants a word. And so does George Graham. But on different subjects, he no doubt will be delighted to see that the youngest player on the pitch, David Rocastle, still 19, is prepared to run at people at Wembley too, and this is the place to run at people. And this free kick coming on the quarter of an hour point. Double R takes it cleanly. Mulby. Mistake by Kenny Sampson, who took a swing at it. 3 up on the far side. Mulby on the dog trap. But the Arsenal skipper Kenny Sampson has made quite a nervous start to this final. Really took a swing at it and enabled Johnson to try to build. It eventually came to Mulby, and the end was a bit of a disappointment from Liverpool's point of view. And Kenny Sampson will be pleased that he's got away with the error.
Well, Craig Johnson, one of the strongest, fastest runners, and if anyone's going to stretch Kenny Sampson, it will be him. Fortunately, the shot off target that time.
Charlie Nicholas thought that the strength of his shirt had been tested. Ronnie Whelan, Rocastle across there quickly, but again the long ball played from the back, and again the recipient is Rush. 3 against 3 across the 18-yard line. This is Ronnie Whelan, offside against Walsh. Good organisation of the Arsenal defence. Nobody really likes to see the offside flag, but there are moments, and that was one, when that tactic is perfectly fair. It's when it's done 10 yards inside the half that it gets on one's nerves.
Arsenal, I don't think, is adept at the offside trap as Liverpool, and Rush also had a look then before he actually got into his position. He read it well.
Give power in the header. Sansom. Craig Johnson. This time he's beaten in the shadows, or is he? Yes, the free kick is Arsenal's right. Head of Quinn, covered by Whelan, snuck a bit between the ankles. Sanson needed to let it bounce. If he'd have just put his head to it, he would have given the ball away immediately to Johnston. Some causing problems for Theo Foley. Bob Paisley down there on the bench for Liverpool, you notice, in the centre with the suit. Kenny Dalglish on the right as Whelan. Johnston. McMahon was looking for somebody left side. Nobody offered. Adams at a gentle lollop. Hayes. Oh, he's given that away. Hayes hasn't been able to get into the match yet. Walsh offside.
When you look at the Arsenal back four, Tony Adams and O'Leary seem to have little disagreements about who's marking who. That particular time, Kenny Sanson was pulled inside, and had Craig Johnson been spotted on the right-hand side of the field, would have created a terrible problem for the Arsenal defenders.
It's almost understandable, Bobby. Nobody wants to mark Ian Rush, but they're going to have to, of course. Nice try by Rocastle. Adams. Oh. That was very, very tight. Quinn again gets his body in front of the defender. Hayes a little bit slow to move. I think the legs a little bit leaden. Martin Hayes at the start. Can happen to players at Wembley. He's one of the youngsters in this side, if you can call 21 a youngster. Certainly in terms of experience. So nearly went to Huddersfield in the autumn. His season changed, and he's the top scorer on the club. Rush, free kick against Adams. Adams is with Rush now, O'Leary with Walsh. That's how it's been for most of the time. But, the two front players have varied their runs. Rush has appeared a lot on the left. Walsh did then, for about the second or third time. Mulby has run into the crowd. Anderson hasn't been able to attack yet, but he's looking to do so now. Arsenal left four up. Offside. Nicholas, if he can come inside, he's got a little bit of room. It's gone the other way. It's a bit short. Rush, Mulby. That's a great ball. This is Steve McMahon. O'Leary coming across. He's led Rush. It's such a familiar sight. Arsenal caught absolutely dead. The ball to McMahon. Look at O'Leary. He comes across here. Nobody is getting to Rush. And all that started very early on when Arsenal had too many men caught forward. They didn't get back in midfield. The back four was exposed. And Rush, as ever, finds the finish. And Arsenal now will be desperately trying to get out of their mind that infernal statistic. The goal in the 23rd minute. Rush's 202nd in his Liverpool career, in which he's played in a cup final every season. And it's set forward the Anfield chorus behind Bruce Grobbelaar's goal. Long ball again. Walsh straight to Lukic. McMahon, the man whose run made it. Mulby, space on the left for Nigel Spackman. Time to look up, rush in the middle, so is Walsh far side. This is McMahon, and that's a balloon.
I think there's a tremendous psychological barrier now that Arsenal have to overcome, particularly with the young players. It's not gone well for them in the middle of the field. Mulvey and McMahon have been winning all the tackles, all the 50-50 balls, and it was just a case of when Liverpool were going to score. Williams now has to get the team together, the experienced lads of Arsenal, and get these young lads running. Otherwise, it could be slightly embarrassed, because Liverpool are well and truly on top and enjoying every minute of it.
And I think it is interesting to note that that goal scored by Ian Rush in the 23rd minute is the first goal that Liverpool have ever scored in the first half of a cup final. So many of their finals have gone to extra time, and the earliest goal was scored by Jimmy Case in the final of '77, when in the end Liverpool lost. That came in the 52nd minute. Here's Alan Hansen. Good stretch by Anderson. Walsh. Charlie Nicholas has got to make up his mind rather quicker than that. And barely a flag is waved. And you must know which end we're looking at. But Arsenal were dead against Tottenham. Nicholas. You remember they were behind in the first leg against Tottenham. They were 2-0 down on aggregate. They came back to take it to a third match. And they were going out of the cup with just 8 minutes left, and they made it to the final. Johnston for Liverpool. Mulby. Whelan. Arsenal yet to get the right side going, and apart from all the other problems, a lot of that is due to the performance of Nigel Spackman. This is Ronnie Whelan able to appear in the midfield with Spackman covering him, but Spackman, who really isn't considered as a left side midfield player, is filling that role and denying Arsenal space down the left. There he is now, number 4. Quinn, that's a nice turn. Nicholas. Davis. Well, the first test, it seemed, but in fact, not so. Well struck, but Grobbelaar didn't touch it. And it looked as though it came off the outside of the post. And that's increased the number of flags waving at the right-hand end. Very fluent shot from a very fluent player, Paul Davis. I suspect Bruce Grobbelaar might have been a bit surprised to find that it made contact with the woodwork. Push by Hansen. A slight ache of the jaw for Niall Quinn. Ronnie Whelan having a few words. That's looking down from our camera behind Bruce Grobbelaar's goal. Arsenal in great need of a strike. May go through the legs to Davis, or for Nicholas. Look at them poised. You think it was just out of 100 metres. Davis hit the wall. Sanson. Anderson. Adams. Nicholas off the post. Anderson. Yes, it's gone in. It's Charlie. Charlie Nicholas has done it. What a succession of near things before Charlie Nicholas becomes the hero of the North Bank and most of North London. Anderson initially, Adams got the touch there, up came Nicholas, it came off the post, Anderson out again, Nicholas makes the touch here, and it's 1-1. And somebody needs to tell George Graham, it would appear from that picture, that his team has just scored. Not a flicker of the eyelid. And the observation's been made, and it's a good one, that neither did the eyelid flicker when they went behind. Always was a cool customer. That's outside the box. Rush is in the middle. Walsh is just behind him. 3 to come from the far side. And I think an offside in the end.
Well, what a change round, eh? Who would have believed it? But they've got the little break they wanted. Arsenal, they're back in the game, and that's the thing that's going to lift them.
Well, I think it might not go amiss to remind you, if you were watching BBC's Grandstand yesterday, that the two main personalities we talked to in previewing the Littlewoods Cup final were Ian Rush and Charlie Nicholas. Ronnie Whelan's clearance. Paul Davis. Kenny Sanson. Good cover by Craig Johnston. Johnson, who's just produced a video called Pride of Merseyside, backed by the record that he also produced. Venison. Johnson again. Good challenge by Hayes. Venison. Free kick. Quite right, Mr. Shapter. Saw the push and turn of Ian Rush. Nicholas. He'll turn it on now if he possibly can. Davis. Got a bit of a knock there though, Nicholas, as you can see. Davis. I think that's going to be handball against Niall Quinn. But Nicholas is surely in need of some attention. There's the physio, Gary Lewin.
What a difference a goal makes. Now you can see all the young Arsenal players actually wanting the ball. They were all hiding initially. I think maybe it was nerves, but once they've got that little break now, they've all relaxed. They all want to play in this game.
Substitute we saw warming up was Perry Groves. Good play by Davis. He's going to have to do a bit more. And he completed the job with some style. That's what he intended. A little bit pulled that side. There's nothing on the left. Arsenal at the moment, of course, with 10 men. And there are 10 minutes left of the first half. Ronnie Whelan. Nobody wide on the right. Set to return with a bandage round his right ankle. Nicholas and the man in possession here, Kenny Sansom. Apart from the three I mentioned at the start, and have of course appeared at Wembley in international matches. Only three in the starting lineup with experience of cup finals. Gillespie. Offside, Ian Rush. Sansom. Nicholas. Spackman. Challenged by Williams as a foul. Nigel Spackman playing only his 9th game for Liverpool since his transfer from Chelsea, and lucky not to have been cup-tied with the London club. Unlike John Aldridge, who isn't available as he played for Oxford. Handball, I think. Nice to see a smile between a player and the referee. My ears served me correctly. He called out Kenny as if to say, you don't think I'm going to miss a handball as obvious as that, do you? Both teams taking a little bit of a breather at the moment. Does tend to get sucked in a bit. Seems to me it'd be better to take a wider position. Benison. Goal kick.
I think the players down there are feeling the legs a little, and if they can get a chance to actually just play on the ball for a while, give themselves a little breather, they're going to do it, seeing that half-time's not too far away. But I must say, the lad with the ball here is going to have a big influence. Williams. He is one of the good two-footed players in the team. Plays the ball well on the floor. Very astute. Looks for openings up front. And he's the type of player really that Liverpool don't have. And I'm not surprised that Alan Hansen said he would be a major factor in this game. I think Arsenal would really depend on him.
Telling his skipper to give it to John Lukic. Hayes. First break Nicholas just inside. Quinn far side. That's nicely played for Nicholas. But Quinn wanted it played on instantly. But here's Anderson. Here's Quinn in the same position as he was before. Turned away by Hansen and then on by Mulby. Just a boot forward, but immediately it puts the Arsenal back three, as it happened, under a certain amount of pressure. Adams. Davis. Anderson. McMahon's challenge. 5 minutes left. And if you've just joined us, where have you been? Let me tell you, if you are late to the match, the score is 1-1. You've missed a good first half. Liverpool scoring first, Arsenal equalising to the man in possession now, Charlie Nicholas. Perhaps don't need to tell you who scored for Liverpool, but I will. It was Ian Rush. Rocastle, Davis. Bit too tight, Rush. How deep he is. Williams made a break on the left side. There he is. Gillespie is coming forward into the area, number 2, but he came for the one towards the near post and it was hit towards the back post. Williams. Anderson. Rocastle. Nicholas on for Anderson. Nicholas took it well in stride. Who to pull it back to? Away by Gillespie. But at this stage, the greater imagination is coming from the London team. Nicely done by Mulby. More skip out of trouble. Johnston. Pace is picked up again. McMahon. Well read, beautifully read by Williams. Rocastle is a mile offside. And the flag backs the commentator's observation. And 3 minutes from half-time. And you're looking there, as he got to his feet, at a growing influence in the contest. Stevie Williams, sometimes suspect of temperament, but who doubt his ability. David Rocastle, you may have seen, just getting some attention. Davis. Bit blind. And Rocastle comes sprinting back. Whelan. Mulby, nicely done. Spackman, McMahon. That's Liverpool's turn to push the ball around, but it's come to an end. Claimed by Johnston and claimed well. Rush. Hayes. Walsh chasing Hayes, and still Nicholas very nearly got through, but Waddy Whelan stumbled his way out of trouble. Mulby. Williams and Mulby not looking like getting back. But he still hasn't. Anderson in possession. Still, Liverpool have got 7 players back. One of them McMahon, who can feed Mulby. Now to turn defence into attack. We're playing the last minute of a first half which has matched the weather quite in the extreme. McMahon. Walsh. Rush just behind. That's a good turn by Walsh. Williams to Adams, to Nicholas, to Davis. Hayes is more inclined to start from wider in these last few moments. Challenge was by Gillespie, shot was by Hayes. Got a deflection, it will be a corner. And just a couple of stoppages. Mr. Shakhtar looks at his watch. Johnson again, putting his curly locks on the near post. Williams to take it. Time for the corner and not much more, I would think. Hayes is in front of Grobbelaar. Rocastle, well, he had to have a dig. And the last shot of the half is at Liverpool's end. But the crowd applauding an excellent 45 minutes, with Ian Rush giving Liverpool the lead in the 23rd minute. At that stage, Arsenal in serious difficulty. But they came back with Charlie Nicholas getting the final touch to a number of ricochets which followed a free kick. But the players deserving the ovation on a warm April afternoon. And the first Littlewoods Cup final, so far I think rather better than the match expected. People said it was going to be very tight, but there have been opportunities, people have been prepared to run with the ball, and both goals were scored rather than given away. They were made with some good football which beat the opposition's defence.